Rechte keren, ja.
Go ahead. Jay. Okay. Come on. Okay. See you. Bye bye. You need some glasses too? Yeah. Yeah. There he goes! There he goes!
Okay, Papa. Good, yes, Papa.
Okay.
Papa.
Papa. Dankeschön.
Papa.
Ah, Papa, Papa. Ah, gut.
Salamander.
Alles Salamander.
Tadua.
Haydi çay.
Tadua. Tadua. Chai. Chai.
Ah,
Chai.
gut.
Oh, salamandera.
Ah, okay.
Oh, hot.
Hoe is dat dan? Ik heb best gaan met
Ah, good chai. Chai is also the word. Chai.
Inzet.
Good chai.
Good.
Good chai.
Good choice.
Salamandera.
Salamander.
Salamandera.
Yes, a fan. Haydi, hey, hallo. Çek. Moment. Haydi. Al.
La la la. La 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 la. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam and the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home on the range, the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, skies are not cloudy all day. Oh.
Time for our meeting.
Oh, you're strong. Can you imagine?
What's your name?
Oh, my name is Valen Raka.
Tell me what the situation that we're looking at right now.
Right now, these people are waiting to go for Germany
Right.
to their cousins or to, well, I don't know, relatives.
Right. But you say that these are more the people who need to leave, it's unhealthy for them to be in the camp?
Yes, I think so.
More of that.
Yes. Because here are many sick people, many old people, many people who are unable to stay here.
So they're going on these buses to Germany right now?
Yes, but just 3 buses from this camp.
Right. Thank you.
Zet als je 4.
Where did you live before you came here?
I lived in a Catholic.
Where's that?
Oh, it's a small town, 11 kilometers from the border, with Macedonian border, here in the south.
Oh, that's where you grew up from, or just before you came here?
No, it was my homeland.
Oh, you lived very near Macedonia when your whole
Yes.
time. And as we talked earlier, you said that you had no intention of leaving there. You were going to grow up there and make a life.
Of course. Make a life. I was a student there. I was studying hard. Also, I was a teacher there. But it was impossible to stay there after the Serbian attacks.
Right. So then the trouble. So you had lots of trouble through Milosevic. Give me a summary of what you told me there about what happened before the end.
Before that?
Yeah.
Before that, which end?
Before the end, from when your father lost his job, and then up till when you had to leave your village.
Oh.
Very briefly.
It's a long story, but I will try to explain very briefly. First of all, my father was pushed back from Serbian regime from his work. He was a teacher, and he gave Albanian language, learned students, children's. Also, from that point, my brother had to leave the country to go in Germany to work for us because it was impossible to get money over there in my homeland. After that, one of my cousins was taken off by police and was in prison for 5 months. After that, he was released with condition, and he was forced. I think he was forced. He had any single another idea to live there because probably they will take again him. So now he lives in Switzerland, and he is in political asylum, as a refugee in Switzerland, with his family, of course. After that, I was a student. We learned, we studied in a bad conditions. We lived in houses in the first floor, you know? Not in first floor, but in the basement, you know how to call that? Podruma we call that.
Okay.
After that, I've studied hard. To reach or manage something, you have to be very strong and to have very strong will, because conditions are bad, as I've said before. I was student in third year, while I had just 2 exams for second year. And that school, this is university, has 4 years. After that, I was back in my hometown, tried to study hard. But suddenly, one day, my brother came in the library I was learning and told me, "Hello brother, what are you doing? People are getting killed over there, so you have to leave your books and to come to see how the situation is." So I went there and I saw terrible things. Missiles, bombs, grenades, but it was a small town, for example, 5 or 6 kilometers from my town in which I lived, in Kačanik. It was a village called Gaire. After that, we heard the NATO air bombing. So Serbs were confused and were of course they have to do something bad to us, because NATO, it was impossible to do anything evil for them. So we were the victims. They started to shoot, to kill people without any single reason. For example, in my town, during the day were killed 16 people just from the people who lived in the same town with us. We were 3 or 4 families, Serbian families, and we have no single weapon. We simple citizens of that town. So there were 2 brothers. No, I think that 1 son and brother and father. Also one cousin of them. So it was a team of 7 people who killed, for example, I don't know exactly, but between 12 and 16 people were killed. No, after the winter, it is summer, of course, and you know, dead bodies we saw in the river. Also, one cousin of mine, he's an old person, he was 63, was taken by I don't know, paramilitary forces of Serbian police, I don't know exactly, but I know it was just some sort of military organization. He was taken off and we don't know nothing about him. After that, we were forced, of course, to leave our country, our place, and we had to go in one village in which lived my uncle. It was 3 kilometers from my town. There we stayed for a month. We were good there. Sometimes we were electricity, sometimes not. Sometimes water we had, of course, because he has a private source of water. And after that we were forced, because in my town in Kačanik, which is near that village, were many heavy fights. We had to leave that place, that village which is called Runevo, and we were pushed into the forests. There, for forest, we stayed for 1 month, I guess so. But before we stayed in forest, we tried to cross the border by foot. We were 2,000 or 3,000 people from my town and tried to cross the border illegally, of course. Serbians let us, but Macedonian army took us. And we stayed there for 12 or 13 hours, I don't know exactly. After that they said to us that they will let us to go there, but they lied us. In the morning they said that we had to stay for 2 or 3 hours, and we stayed, of course. After that I was sleeping in my own food. I was sleeping. I wasn't food, I was sleeping. It was impossible, but it's true. After that, these Macedonians told us that we have to move back from the place in which we arrived in that cross-line border. It was forest, of course. It was terrible forest. Many people get not killed but died because of bad conditions. Weather was very cold, and weather was cold, and many sick people were, you know, weak in such conditions, so they died. Also, newborn babies died, children, I don't know, many of them. No one exactly knows how many died in that trip. After that, we were not sure to stay in our homes, so of course in the village, and we went to the forest. There we stayed for a month. There were KLA soldiers who tried to defend us from Serbian attacks, and Serbians each single day made incidents, shoot people without reason. Who was in town? It was impossible to get from there alive. After that, we stopped the train by a person who worked in the railway for 40 years, and that colleague who was Serbian stopped the train, and he knew that these two persons were colleagues for 40 years, and he stopped the train. So for about 100 people jumped into a train and crossed the border. But when we crossed through our town, Kačanik, it was a place which I lived. Half of Kačanik was burned. All houses were burned. And after that we are here in camp for a month. Here I worked with many organizations, also as a garbage keeper. I took many papers as a volunteer, of course. We made also registration here as a volunteer for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I don't know exactly. We worked hard here each single day as a volunteer, of course. And as a volunteer I worked here with children, but just 1 or 2 hours because I was involved in another activities. So it was impossible to get all these activities in the same time. Now I'm staying in my tent. My family lives, of course, in my tent with me, but exactly this time they went to my one cousin there who lives in Kačanik, of course, but now is living here in Chegran, and to be cleaned, you know, to wash themselves. As you saw before, many improvised bathrooms, toilets, bad toilets. Here it's real terrible things. Also, I spoke to many known persons, for example, Richard Gere, and I spoke to Australian TV, with many journalists, many persons. I don't know, here in this camp came many well-known politicians, for example, Solana and that Minister of Defense of Germany, I don't know exactly his name, with glasses, you know, etc., etc.
Tell me about your picture of the future.
Oh, picture of the future. I had this picture of future before I was here. I tried to pass all my exams, to be a good man, to be a strong man, to be a person who works for his land. Also by learning, because some of them are fighting, some with head, with mind. That person is telling you to turn the camera to see that.
Yeah.
All the...
You gotta finish this. So,
okay.
Just tell me about what's your picture of the current picture of the future. You can tell me anything you want. I mean, including
okay,
no picture of the future.
I told you that I had this picture before, but now it's impossible to have it because I don't know how long this place will take, how long we will stay here. Will be the next place Kosovo or another state or here in Chegran. I don't know exactly what to do with myself, but I know that I will survive and I will fight with each single struggle, like a man.
Okay.
That I have very conservative ideas about I will do everything I can to help them. That's great.
So, you just came in off of
Well, if innocence were a river, I just took a swim. What can I say? First of all, it's your protectors, the children. One boy grabbed my hand within 10 yards of leaving the bus. He never let go of it for an hour and 15 minutes. And there were so many things. What I really love here is not that the mothers do it, the fathers bring the small children up to have a touch. It's almost baptismal. It's a powerful thing. One really wonders what the hell they see in what we do. Walk up the street holding hands. Here's some of what I do. Mama, mama. And that somehow creates something. I don't know what that is. I know that I like it. I know it's an overwhelming amount of incoming love to you, and curiosity to you, and aggression to you, and a desire to have some peace, not as a souvenir, but because in that moment there's something special for them and so clearly special for me. I feel as if one eats at a banquet, and unlike a normal banquet, they're sorry it's over because they don't sense full, they sense the desire for more.
Deeper in, separate the guys, not as so much of a mass, and often the different aisle.
Well, it was an intent rather than a random. Yesterday it was see what happens. Today we were asked to do it, and so
Look at Danika's brother.
this is not normal. And then what would it be? Then what would the visit of love be if this were the normal? I don't know.
Richard, about this. What do you want?
Clown 1, yes. We're trying to get an airplane, like a 500-seater jet, that would be owned by the world. It would not be owned by somebody. And that any group in the world of 500, so it could be soccer players, it could be anybody, with the idea that when they had it for their week, say September 13th, that in that week they would go to the worst disaster in the world of that week with love and music and whatever kinds of supplies that part of the world would need, and that you would just sign up for it, and maybe there would be a big wardrobe for it, so you could get a soccer team and suit them all out as clowns, because I think anyone who sees this realizes that all the people who had never clowned before yesterday had as good a time as I did, who's clowned every day for 35 years.
Quite striking. People had never clowned at all. They got totally into it. Their alternative inner nature came out. Kids who smiled this
Yes, and that it's doing it as much as I have. It's as thrilling, I know, for me today as it was for people who it was their second day.
You say it's really like hardcore, it's really an expression of people's heart and actions.
You know, all of those thoughts are second thoughts to me. It's so in the present. It's so in the present that it's elbows and hands. And I mean, you feel, first of all, you feel at any given time 30 or 40 hands on your body. So there's that incredible tactile, and almost all the hands are saying I love you in some way or another. The eyes, there are even more eyes, because more eyes can be touching you than hands can.
Yesterday I didn't really have guardians, but today I had.
There's the seeing the families, the older people look in curiosity, look in appreciation, look in anger sometimes. I mean, all of those things are there. I love the embarrassment of what one could call youth or teenagers or that age group, that they love it at a distance, but if you start walking towards them, become the color of your flower, a pink, and they start running the other way, laughing, saying, please come, but acting like they're saying, help me. So all of that's And I love to do it by myself, but I love looking across and seeing another flock of people around somebody else and another flock of people. There's something in that too. I love a troop. I mean, I think you'll notice that in 2 days, one could probably say everybody on this bus would feel comfortable in sitting in the lap of and invading the space of everyone else on the bus and feeling a kinship in less than 48 hours, where most adults in our society, our age, take 10 years to try to get this level of intimacy. So that's a little subtext that I like too.
Likes to do this. That's what you do an interview. This guy likes to get his
It looks good.
I like the chill that runs down your back that feels like some kind of sensual caress when somebody pours cold water on your body. I feel like I want to rub my body while it's happening. And thank the person that did it, knowing that he could do it to me, or he may not do it to somebody else. Thankful that it wasn't, say, a lemonade. All of those things. Johnny!
In our hearts we got the whole world. In our hearts we got the whole world. In our hearts. One more time. We got the whole world. In our hearts we got the whole world. In our hearts we got the whole world. In our hearts we got the whole world. In our hearts. In our bladders we got the whole world. In our bladders we got the whole world. In our bladders we got the whole world. In our hearts we got the whole world. In our pants we got the whole world. In our pants we got the whole world. In our pants we got the whole world. In our pants.
We deliver peace to the world. We deliver peace to the world. Deliver peace to the world. Doctor! Doctor! We got the whole world. Hey! Hey!
Is this the office of Dr. Viosa?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Nancy Ruval.
We are a non-profit in the United States that delivers humanitarian supplies.
Naimi trei Americă se chemie de sipartas da jede ce jureluita humanitarist.
Welcome. Thank you. And we were told that the Center for Protection of Women and Children needed medical supplies for the new clinic.
Ние бяха контрибуция с центъра по
Program started by children in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and it's been participated in all over. This is one of 80 panels of the Children's Peace Quilt.
Beautiful.
And it's been displayed at the United Nations, in Congress, all over the world at important conferences.
Children from, they put their countries on here.
Japan.
Costa Rica, Japan, Bolivia, India,
They
Bosnia.
express their visions for peace.
US, Egypt. And we brought all of this
We brought
material to
200 pieces empty, and we brought crayons and we brought paints. So we would have what we'd like to have is the tent with the children, and we could hang this, and then we have the muslin.
and they could make their own for another quilt.
You want a drink? Sure, I love a drink. Okay, we gotta keep it going now. We gotta keep it going. Ready? Here we go. Keep it going.
What do they feel about Kosovo and what do they think about Kosovo? What have they seen during the trip? And
So it looks like we got some soldiers there on the left.
The massacre, see?
Oh, great.
Soldiers shooting houses on fire. Invariably, the children were allowed to choose their own theme.
Yeah.
And again and again in every
But everybody
painting.
chose the same team.
Right, well, this is the thing that's most strongest in their mind.
Look at the next one.
Strongest.
Let's try
The next
that.
one, many of these pictures have a lot of heavy armor in the pictures, usually 4 or 5 tanks at a time coming into villages.
Here they are camping in the woods, hiding from the army.
Take it easy, slower, slower.
But I want to give you, we want to give you the best one.
Okay, fine, okay.
Where's the one with the uncle with the...
Okay.
We see the house on fire, the tanks firing at the house, the man shooting an innocent victim, and a Red Cross person coming to help. And the dove of peace. It says peace. Pace on Kosovo. These are children 8, 9, and 10 years old.
Yeah. Ultimately, he should talk to me about the program, what he's doing there. He should talk to me about it.
Yeah.
But we'll do that in a minute. Hi, give me this. What's this a picture of? I can see, I know, but I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me.
See this?
Yeah?
Soldiers were taking drugs.
The soldier's doing drugs while he's shooting others.
Army, here are the tanks, and here is the civilian. When soldiers kill civilian, and here are houses burning. That Yugoslavian army is burning the houses.
Look at this one right here.
And here is a woman, pregnant woman, killed.
And look
in
at
the cross.
And look at the pig face.
Yes. And here is burning houses.
The thing that's remarkable is that
Dali was like this.
Guess what? Did you get sparkling? These are Yugoslavian army was burning the house.
Is he Kosovan?
Yeah, they are all Kosovars.
All his
child.
All his
Well, these are from the children.
Yes, from children here in the camp.
He asked them to
and they
paint
were just
their
asked
experience.
not to draw anything in particular, just to draw something.
Their experience
Yeah,
in
This is what they
Kosovo.
came up with.
You know, when you see all of the heavy armor all together like that, it's a real military attack.
Soldiers used. They paint here everything that they experience. It's a similar with this one. And this is a pregnant woman.
Is this the children with money? Or the soldiers with money? Or what?
No.
Running away?
Here is
Or the people taking their things?
He is invalid.
Okay.
His father.
Every picture is the same.
gdje je nožio, gdje je firma. A ti moraš se čas
Ei, c'è che non fa merda. Abbiamo cita plebe.
Vedi je sokolini.
You have to cut out the bottom so your shoe fits and you can walk.
That's part of it, and you do that personally?
I did it personally.
Well, I mean, rather than to walk around. Hands, they're supposed to do that to them? They're designed for that?
No. I actually, well, I just cut it out so I could walk. But these are kind of difficult to walk in because they dig into your top part of your foot, so I had to cut this part off. And I think I'm going to invest into a stronger pair of boots.
I have a pair of Russian crowns. His were kind of hand, beautiful shoes.
Yes, I got to find somebody that'll...
Walk back.
Mama! Bella! Principe! Papa!
Oh, Papa! So now that you have the shoes, Papa! Go outside. Go outside. Go outside.
Maybe you don't want to.
Okay.
All right, we just came from a camp. It's one of the oldest camps here, and it's also one of the most intense camps because it's more people in a smaller area, and they've been here for a long time. And the optimism that we've experienced in some of the other camps, which were newer, has been replaced now by the attitude that these people don't know when they're going to get out of here. I mean, they've been here a long time, and now the pessimism is sitting in because some of these people know that they're going to be here for an indefinite period of time. How long that is, no one knows.
Grade 8s have that except for the bonobo. The bonobo chimp is the only one with a female-centered culture. That's a fascinating one if you really want to read. I don't know if you know this, chimpanzees' chromosomes are only 0.01% different than our chromosomes. So they're 99.9 or less exactly the way humans are. And we're very, oh, I'm booked for that. I don't know what happened with that.
You probably had them charged or something.
More money than 3 times the poorest person.
How did you come up with that ratio? It just feels right?
Yeah. They're crumbling now. They're thinking on going the American system in healthcare.
That's amazing.
Well, the whole world is panicked to what to do. I think they really know the only hope is real communism. The only hope is if we share everything. If we all get together and love one another and are interdependent. There's no hope otherwise. It's just how long before extinction. The only way we will prevent extinction is if we decide to have all for one and one for all.
will happen in our lifetime. I think it can happen in our lifetime.
It can always happen.
This is not utopia, it's a matter of survival.
A risk maybe to get out here, not for me maybe, but for my family. I saw my brother, my little brother, that started dehydration. So he ate corn for 3 days, his stomach wasn't ready to accept that. So he just started to get sick. My mother had a toothache and no medicine at all. We couldn't. If someone would have a medicine, he would be dead. So that was maybe the reason. And it was because that the police forces came 2 days before they brought us here. They came into our houses, they crashed the doors, they went in, they took all the men, they sent us to the police, and they said us to stay there standing. They called us there and they said that we hear on TV that you are hostages here. So for that we're gonna tell the world that you're not hostages, and we're gonna bring buses and you're gonna load in, and you have to say the word that you are volunteers. Are you? And okay, in the police station we should say yes. And then after that they sent us again home. They beat someone, but not all of them. Actually me, they did me, I had only one slap in my face, but not more.
Right.
And so 2 days we were again surrounded. Our suburbia was surrounded. Even the town was surrounded, but our suburbia those days were more surrounded. So there were shootings all around, so no people could escape from that suburbia. And then 2 days after, one police car came and said that everyone out, and you have 50 minutes to leave. So we went out, all the families that were there, and we went on the crossroad that it was in the center of town, near the police station. They brought 2 buses, they loaded us in. And on the road here I saw that it was a paper from Ministry of Interior that sent us that we should go untouched to the border. So that was the reason, because they stopped us on the road to the border. But because I understand Serbian language, I saw that was, and I heard that was a paper that said that they have a good relation. They have a paper from the Ministry of Interior, so we should leave them to go.
Right.
So that was the reason why we came here safely in the border. And it was the road was okay. We saw many houses burned or everything, but we didn't have any problems on the road.
How do you view that part, that they wanted you to arrive here safely without any problem? Kind of tell me what you think.
I think it was that for propaganda. Right. They told us in the police station that the world knows that you are hostages. So to make a demand of that, so they wanted to send us to the border to come safely in Macedonia, and then to say that, you see, the people from Lagos came safely here. So, and they are not hostages. And then after they start shootings again and everything, just like it was before. So it was only, I think, only for propaganda.
Na jemi për t'ju bërë juve të lumtur, për të qeshur edhe për paqe.
He says, we love all of the world.
Kadua! Kadua!
Pra ky po thotë që unë I du të gjithë në botë, e dua krejt botën. Edhe s'janë dëgjut tatë edhe shqip të dua.
He says, a few of you will help us draw our visions for a peaceful future.
Pra, ky po thotë që ju disa prej juve do të na ndihmoni neve që të vizatojmë vizionet e juja për një të ardhme paqësore.
Okay.
he said we need 16 children to draw.
Rana nevin avün yaştım Zoansan cilet kişinin zatı. Ve ton bunu var kuşlar. Atakan için yaştım diye hiç bakmıyorsun. Okej. Qyre, do me thonë ma si ti kryni ju skicat, I kini këtu në gjyrat, edhe markerat edhe sanet cilat kini me në gjyros. Që jenë këtu shumë gjyrat bukra, do me thonë këtu e në gjyra për lule.
For you. You want a heart?
This what? Oh, let me get there. Hey. Hello. Do they need more colors? Only this side. They're going to go. Açılı kuş. Marşalası bir tane değil. Na boy ci są zejść.
You're losing the path. Hold it there, hold it there. Read
Nigerian film, każdy to wygląda.
He's got some flowers right on the border.
Okay, go ahead.
Tell me your name and where you're from and a little bit about your story. What's happened?
Now we did all that, so let's move to something else. I think that's fair.
Okay. My name